Hi guys, I just want to give you yet another Christmas related fact about me. So what is the most unusual thing that I have asked to get for Christmas? That would probably be the time that I asked my nan to buy me the original trilogy of Nightmare on Elm Street. Back then it was on VHS, DVDs weren't actually out yet or a thing yet. But that was the most unusual thing that I asked anyone in my family to get me for Christmas. Not really sure about what they thought about me wanting to get a horror movie for Christmas, but they didn't question it. Hi guys, my name is David. If you are new here, hi, welcome. And if you have been watching my channel for a while now, welcome back. So the novel that I will be reviewing today is NOS4A2 by Joe Hill. I have a physical copy of it, and I was actually doing this as a buddy read with Mark from Slowly Read. This was his first time reading this novel, but this was my second time rereading this novel, and it was kind of cool to get his perspective and his ideas and thoughts about this story. And it was really cool. We were talking back and forth through his Discord and emails, and it was so much fun doing this with him. It really was. So this novel was originally published on the 30th of April 2013, and the genre is horror and dark fantasy with a twist around the Christmas period. And for those of you who aren't aware about who Joe Hill is Stephen King's son. There is also a spin-off graphic novel for NOS4A2, which is more of a prequel than anything else, and that is called Wraith. And this is fantastic, it really is, as it's focuses around the main character or the main villain of Charlie Manx and how he came to be what he is in NOS4A2, and how he came across Christmas Land and all that type of stuff. You don't have to read NOS4A2 in order to enjoy Wraith or understand it. But I would personally read NOS4A2 first and then read Wraith, and then you'll appreciate it more. So as I say in all my videos, this is going to be a spoiler-free video. I'm not going to spoil anything about this book whatsoever. And this is going to be my own thoughts and opinions regarding NOS4A2. So before I tell you guys what the story is all about, let's go straight over to Mark.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, everybody. My name is Mark, and I run the Slowly Read channel. And this holiday season, David and I got together and decided that we would do a collaboration buddy read and do a review video for NOS4A2 by Joe Hill. Now, this is my first time reading the book, and it's David's second time, which was definitely nice to have a veteran along the way. I definitely started off a little confused, but I did find my grips, and I actually had quite a good time. It was also fun to see, David, because, while reading this and kind of communicating back and forth, I could tell that this is something that's just like the Christmas present in the morning, man. When he talks about it, his eyes light up. So that was really cool to be a part of that. Now, David is actually the first person to ever watch one of my videos, as well as subscribe to my channel. And that put him in a very near dear place in my heart. He's also the guy that, kind of pushed me to just be myself. And that is something I have taken and I have really ran with my channel. It's certainly a bit niche, but it's all me. And I'm just very grateful to have somebody like David as a friend. So from the bottom of my black heart, happy holidays, everybody.
So thanks for all your kind words, Mark. That was really nice of you. If you haven't watched Slowly Read's channel before, I will link it down below, as well as this collaboration video will be down as well. And if you want to see what my clip is, it will be in his review video, which I will, as I said, it will be down below. So please check that out. So the story opens up by introducing us to our main villain of the story, called Charlie Manx. Now, Charlie is in a coma, and he's been attended by a nurse who is taking care of him. Charlie has been accused of abducting and numerous children that have actually mysteriously gone missing. And he wakes up and he looks at the nurse and he tells her that he will take her son to Christmas Land. And then the story jumps to our main hero called Vic McQueen, who is referred to who is actually referred to as the Brat by her dad, who has given her this nickname, and her dad is the only one that refers to Vic as the Brat. Vic is actually living with her family, and it's a very nice and nurturing environment. One day she's been given a bike, which whenever she rides it across a Pacific covered bridge in her town, it has the ability to take her to any lost item. She has the ability to find any item that's been missing or lost. Like, for example, her mother has lost a bracelet. So when she goes across this bridge, she can go to the exact place where this bracelet has been lost and ride across the bridge again and give her mother back her bracelet. And she's not really sure about why she has this ability. She even goes across the bridge looking for answers, and she comes across a mysterious librarian called Maggie, who, like Vic, has the ability, like her, she has a Scrabble bag, which kind of like a tie-up bag, and she has all these Scrabble tiles in it. Now, this Scrabble bag is like the bag from Mary Poppins, as when you put your hands into it, you can put your whole arm into it, and it's just bottomless. And when Maggie takes a handful of tiles out of this bag and she puts them on the surface, she can arrange them in random orders and it will spell a message for her. And she's not entirely sure about how this works. It's just something that she can actually do. But she warns Vic about the more that they use her their abilities, a certain disability will manifest itself. Like, Maggie has a stutter, and the more she uses her Scrabble bag, the worse her stutter will actually get. And whenever Vic goes across this bridge, she has a sharp pain in her left eye. Pretty sure it's her left eye. And it's implied that if she uses this bridge enough, she will eventually go blind in that eye. So after this, Vic goes back home, and she's not sure about how to process this information. And then one day her parents are in an argument, and she runs off on her bike, and she finds herself going across the bridge and finding a mysterious house called the Sleigh House. Now, the Sleigh House is a real place in the real world, and it's where Charlie Manx lives. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Charlie. Charlie is he's actually kidnapping all these children, and he's taking them. It's actually taking them and putting them in his Rolls-Royce Wraith one at a time and driving them to a mysterious place called Christmas Land. Now, Charlie appears to be an old man, and the reason why he's doing this is because whenever he does this, it actually regenerates him. He's like a vampire. He's sucking the souls out of his children. And their destination is Christmas Land. Now, as I said, Christmas Land is entirely in Charlie's mind. And this place, every single night it's Christmas Eve, and every single morning it's Christmas Day. And rinse and repeat. It's kind of like a theme park where it has rides, it has roller coasters, it has Ferris wheels, it has carousels, it has shops that sell all these weird and crazy stuff, like a chocolate baby with a head of a goat, and it's entirely occupied. It's completely occupied with children who seem to have all their innocence sucked out of them, and it's more or less like an evil version of Neverland from Peter Pan. So when Vic goes to the Sleigh House, she finds that there is a small boy in the back of Charlie's Rolls Royce, and she wants to try to free him, but this boy has been stripped of his innocence, and he's got a massive smile on his face, and all his teeth have been replaced by hooks, and he's very evil as well. And Charlie comes across Vic, and he says, well, look, you and me have the same abilities. We are both rare people, and I want to have a talk with you. And he comes across her bike. He actually sees the covered bridge, and he grabs the bike, throws it into the bridge, and the bridge mysteriously disappears. After this, stuff actually happens to the sleigh house, and ultimately Charlie gets arrested, and Vic tells the authorities that that she basically makes stuff up about Charlie. She tells the police that Charlie kidnapped her and was going to kill her. This upsets Charlie dramatically, as he's been taken away from Christmasland and what he's referring to as his children in Christmasland. As the children in Christmasland see Charlie as their father figure. And no one has escaped Charlie, and that upsets him more than anything. So many years later, Vic has grown up into a woman, and she had a boy of her own called Wayne. Wayne, yeah. I was actually going to say Wade, but Wayne. And it's not really that great. She's trying to do the best that she can. That she has a husband. Well, not really husband. They're not married, but they're kind of like boyfriend and girlfriends. And the guy is called Lou. Lou is a overweight person who is a massive nerd. He's interested into Stargate and Doctor Who and all that lovely good stuff. And so while this is all going on, Charlie has been revived from the dead, and he comes across a unique individual called Bing, who Bing is a very disturbed person. He has ultimately killed his parents, and he's completely obsessed with this gas mask that he got from his dad. And he's constantly wearing it. It's got it's got over his face, and it's got like glass eyes on it as well. And he sees an advertisement for Christmasland in his local newspaper, and he decides to take up the job. So he writes to Charlie, and Charlie ultimately recruits him and tells him that, look, and he actually takes into a section, sort of like a mysterious graveyard called the Graveyard of What Might Be. Now, this has got all cemetery stones in it, and the ground is completely covered with ice. It's like a frozen lake, and in the lake, behind all these headstones, is bodies of children that aren't dead; they are alive. And he's saying to them that like this child is destined to be a drug dealer because this boy's parents was a drug addict, and that what led him to do what he did. Basically, it's like parents destroying their child's lives by their own actions, and making them go down a specific path. And Charlie tells Bing that he takes children to Christmasland because he wants to save them. Charlie doesn't see himself as the villain. He doesn't hurt the children. He doesn't sexually abuse them. He doesn't threaten them in any way. If anything, he loves these children with all of his heart. But he is a villain nevertheless. And he tells Bing that he will take Bing to Christmasland, but only if he helps Charlie kidnap 10 children. And so Charlie wants to kidnap Vic's son Wayne, which for revenge sake, and he takes him to he takes him into his car, and he drives him to Christmasland, and it upsets Vic a lot. And she has a motorcycle now, and she drives off, and she wants to rescue her son. We find out that there's a unique, another strange place called the House of Sleep. Now, this isn't in the real world. This is where Bing is living in an imaginary world. This is a very dark place in a deserted town, and this is where Bing takes the abducted parents of these children, and he takes them specifically the mothers, and he takes them to this house where he rapes them and holds them pretty much until they're dead. So yeah, it's all about Vic trying to save Wayne from from going to Christmas Land, because this is all about Charlie having revenge on what Vic did to him and escaping from him in the first place. And this is a very scary prospect for Charlie, as Vic is dedicated 110% in getting her child back. She doesn't care what happens to her. She wants to get Wayne back and stop Charlie from doing what he's doing. And the ending of this book is so great. I won't say what happens, but it has a section where Vic is on her motorcycle and Charlie is in his Rolls-Royce Wraith, and they are racing around Christmas Land. And it is so good. You can smell the burning rubber of all these wheels. You can smell the petrol. You can feel the speed. I can't describe it better than that. It is so like nail biting and gripping. It is so exciting. And the ending, I wasn't too a massive fan of the ending. In fact, I kind of forgot what the ending actually was. But the ending was okay. I wasn't expecting it to go that way, but it was a satisfying ending. I will leave it like that. And this has loads of references to Stephen King's novels. I've actually made a list of all of them, so let me go through them. It mentions Midworld, which is the fictional world which the Dark Tower series resides. And so this is actually connected to the Dark Tower in that sense. It mentions Shawshank, which is a prison in Castle Rock. It mentions the True Knot, which are the villains in the Doctor Sleep novel. It mentions the town of Derry, and more interestingly, it mentions a place called Pennywise's Circus, which I found very intriguing. It also has some references, like some small references, like I'm pretty sure this was what Vic said when she was on her bike. She said, "Hi ho Silver," and if you don't know, that is what Bill in It says constantly throughout the book. It's kind of like his phrase. And there's also a thing that Bing shouts and says to Charlie. He says, "My life for you," and that was interesting to me, because that is what Trash Can Man says to Randall Flagg in the stands. And me and Mark were discussing about the differences and similarities between Trash Can Man or Trash and Bing. But I think that Trash has more of a conscience. He feels guilty about what he's doing, and Bing doesn't have a conscience. He doesn't care what he's doing. He enjoys raping women. He enjoys what he's doing. He worships and idolizes Charlie to an insane degree. And Mark was saying to me about how the Wraith reminded him a lot of Christine, but the Wraith and Charlie are one person. He can sit in the car, not touch the wheel, and the car will drive itself. Him and the Wraith are one person, but Christine and Ernie, and I'm pretty sure that's the main character of Christine. I'll be embarrassed if it isn't. They are two people that have a romantic relationship that's a toxic relationship, but they're not connected. They're not one person. He also told me about about Vic has a dog, which is a Saint Bernard's, which he said, "Oh, that's the same dog in Cujo," and yeah. But I didn't really see a connection there, really. But it's just a dog that Joe decided to write in. A bit of a trigger warning here: the dog does get killed. So if you don't like that sort of thing, be warned that it is in this book. So what am I going to rate NOS4A2 by Joe Hill? Just give me a second. Let me just think about this for a little bit. It's probably the easiest 5-star rating that I can give a book that I've read this month. This is fantastic, it really is. Full marks, 5 stars out of 5. So that's it, guys. That is my review on NOS4A2 by Joe Hill. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video. I've tried to make it as interesting as I possibly can and as detailed as I can. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like, comment down below, subscribe if you want to. If you do subscribe, please click on the little bell notification just so you know whenever I upload videos, which is every Monday and Friday, but throughout December, I have been uploading videos every Wednesday. That is only for December only, guys. So on the 30th of December, that will be my last Wednesday video. So this is a great book. You should read it. If you haven't never even read anything by Joe Hill, read this book. It is fantastic. It is long, yes, but it is so well written. It is enjoyable. Characters in are actually magnificent. Does have slow parts, but I enjoy this book nevertheless. So before I go, I just want to say a massive thank you yet again to Mark from Slowly Read. Thank you so much for doing this buddy reading, this collaboration with me. It was a pleasure and it was so much fun, even though this video was a bit of a pain in the arse to make. We are going to be doing another buddy read on June Messiah next year, sometime. So keep your eye open for that. It'll be fun, and I'm looking forward to reading that because June is one of my favourite books I've read in 2020. And with all that said, have a Merry Christmas, and I will see you all in my next video.